Alright, so Police Simulator Patrol Officers is exactly the kind of game you would guess it is just by reading the title. You get to be a policeman and simulate the patrol as an officer. There's a total of 26 trophies inside, including the platinum, and there really isn't any story trophies to the game. It is pretty much just entirely trophies relating to cumulative arrests that you make. I can't wait to ruin some lives temporarily. Only takes about 20 hours if you're average. Lame. It only took me 2 hours. I'm a god. That's definitely wrong, by the way. It was more like 8 or 9, but still. This is also a part of my challenge to platinum pretty much every single notable single player game that I haven't already before I hit 800,000 subscribers, because I have no life, so make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, the first part of the game has you make a police officer to play as today. And I chose to pick the most generic looking white guy ever because I plan to abuse my power as an officer, and who better to do that than a white cop, am I right? Also, I got my first trophy right here from entering the world we get to play in, which is called North Point. The game also takes place in a city called Brighton, but who cares about that? So we began our first shift as a cop simply being assigned the job of giving out parking tickets. The absolute most degrading thing you can do to a person. Give them a ticket for parking their car 3 minutes past the time that it was allowed. And we said it was a free country. Anyways, this entire first shift is entirely here to just get us introduced into how the game works and all of the random things that can occur that you have to look for. That is, if you want to be a good cop. Or you can just ignore petty crimes and do the thing it tells you to, which is kind of what I did because I don't care to chase down cars with loud exhaust, for Christ's sake. And since the game has so little trophies, I didn't actually receive any for all the hard work I was doing in this tiring 20-minute shift we got put on. But I did receive one after I clocked out and got rewarded some stars for all the experience I gathered while giving out parking tickets to innocent citizens. I am the villain in this story. And after that, since I gathered so much experience, it actually just unlocked 2 different areas to let me ruin, or I mean play in. I chose, however, to head into Beaufort landing because it sounded weird and interesting, like a goth chick. Hopefully this time no spells will be cast with my wand. Anyways, our job in today's shift was much more intense. It had us prioritizing speeding as the crime on the watch. This also is the default objective for every single shift in the rest of this game, or at least it was for me because I don't know how you switch job duties. They never told me. But I also got my first chance to do a real accident report on this shift right here, and I had no clue what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie, I think going through the academy again would have helped me out. Anyways, these aren't very complicated after you figure out some things, and near the end of the game, they actually become so easy it kind of gets boring. If only there was an option to just shoot someone. I'm just kidding. I think you actually can do that, but I never tried. Anyways, after the minor accident that I had to deal with before Drake got there, I actually just went and did the exact job the game told me to do. And I gave people speeding tickets with my fancy radar gun that is also a camera. I did so many, as a matter of fact, that I reached 10 on my first shift doing these and got a trophy from it. And I then just did that for the rest of my shift before clocking out. However, I would get stopped because on my way back, another minor accident happened. But this time I had a little bit more of a clue as to what was going on because I didn't rush through it. I mean, the shift is already over, so now it's overtime, and don't we love to just juice that, am I right? Long story short, one of the dudes in the accident had a car that was no longer drivable in its current state, so I called the tow truck to come get it, and I got a trophy from justifiably calling a tow truck for the first time. And that was all the fun for the second shift because I headed back to clock out for real this time. And as I was doing so, I had earned enough XP to boost me into being a high enough star level for car privileges. We love to see it, and it was also a trophy. I then got another one right after for picking the other district of town that I didn't last time, that being called Chester, like the cheetah from the Cheetos company. And as I said earlier, the job remained to be the same for the rest of my game, at least being that of just radar gun crap. So I kind of just did whatever I wanted for now, helping people when I saw fit since I am the law out there. But I also got given a camera finally, which is used to help boost along the crime scene progress bar pretty significantly. In fact, it's like the only thing that really does. So now I feel justified in giving these people tickets and bad choices. Oh, but before raising citizens' insurance and blood pressure, I actually got a trophy from just taking photographs of the car's damage and surrounding area. And I actually became quite a photo fiend, if you will, because the next trophy I got 30 minutes later in my shift was from me again taking pictures. But this time it was from a total of 50 pieces of evidence in the game's entirety. And I actually just did the accident resolutions the entire time that shift because I was honestly bored of using the radar gun. The job isn't much fun. It makes sense now why cops eat donuts and commit crimes to pass time. I understand. So my next trophies were actually once my shift ended and I was running back to the office. But I got a trophy from justifiably arresting 3 people in one shift that popped a bit after I actually arrested the guy, because every time you arrest someone, you have to wait for another cop to drive over and pick them up. Mostly because, I lost my car, so that's sad. Oh yeah, one of the people I arrested was also a citizen who had an open warrant for their arrest, meaning they did a bad thing and nobody has yet to punish them for it, but Daddy Illusion is here, don't worry ladies. However, once I did finally officially clock out, I received 0 trophies from leveling up, but I did get one from entering another new area of the game called Alchemy, and it must be of importance because the trophy was gold. How delectable. Anyways, this shift was no different than the others. Same shit, different day really be hitting with this game, and it's great at reflecting the feeling of a 9 to 5 because you do the same thing over and over, just on a different day and shift. But I did get a trophy pretty early on here from snapping a total of 120 pieces of evidence, and also the last photographic trophy of the game. Sadly. Very sadly. However, I have made it far enough into my outstanding policing career that I started to get given major accidents. These are like the minor ones, except they are above the age of consent. Take notes, Dr. Disrespect. But no, seriously, they are major because a few people are always on the ground in the middle of the road injured. And every time you ask them what happened, they usually just say, and I quote, "First, I saw a crash, and I looked, so no, I can't help you." What the fuck does that even mean? Anyways, I was trying to just say that I got a trophy here from calling an ambulance for these idiots for the first time. And at this point, I was kind of fed up with doing accident reports because half the time the people in them are just too damn in shock to say anything at all. So I went back to doing speed checks and I ended up getting a trophy from justifiably giving 40 people speeding tickets. I am a piece of shit. And that was it for the trophies gotten during this shift, so I returned back to the office, clocked out, and then clocked right back on in for a new location this time, which also gave me a trophy like all the other ones. And it was called Historical Downtown, which means they probably have more than one restaurant called Main Street here. However, during this location, I finally, and I mean finally, managed to get an NPC that crashed because of them being under the influence, which is a trophy from arresting them for that. But it's also only one of 40 that I need for this trophy right here, which is the longest grind in the game because it's just so luck-based and finding people that are drinking and driving at noon. Oh yeah, and a long-ass time later, I was back at the speed check grind because I saw that a trophy still required me to do that, and I got it right here. So yup, there is now 100 people that have gotten given speeding tickets in the mail from me. I might have a target on my head in this city, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully the fact that I saved 20 people with ambulances help because I got a trophy from that. Maybe the karma or yin yang will even out, hopefully. Oh yeah, my next trophy was then from towing 30 total cars, justifiably of course. Come on now, I don't know why anyone would unjustifiably tow a car, that's just nonsense. And I also got, I think it was my last ambulance trophy from calling 30 of them for people, which I also don't think I did 30 because that's a lot of major accident instances. Since it only counts once, I'm pretty sure, per accident. I might be wrong, but I still did get the trophy, so yeah, take that. Next trophy was then for me arresting 30 people total, which happened very long into my game's total time played, and I was kind of worried I wasn't arresting people the correct way because, well, this trophy didn't pop yet. But it seemed to work, so here it is. I then only had a few trophies remaining now. The first one was from towing the final amount of cars needed being 50, which wasn't even near the amount I did total in the game, but it was a trophy for now. And my remaining two trophies were both then from just arresting people. First from arresting 50 people in general, which is exactly as it sounds, and then the final trophy I needed was sadly still the 40 arrest under the influence. This took me quite a bit of time, I'm not gonna lie, but thankfully I managed to level enough to get into the nighttime shifts, which obviously more people are out and about, and also drinking, smoking, or living as I like to say. So yeah, this made it much easier, and I got a load of people caught sipping and driving, which is a no-no, everyone knows this. And here's that final trophy with the Platinum Trophy pop right along with it. So that was the Police Simulator Patrol Officer's Platinum Trophy experience. What a mouthful. Anyways, the game overall was pretty fun. I personally don't think it's anything too crazy, especially with it being very repetitive and not exactly in a good way. But it was still very unique and some goofy ass things did happen while I played it, so I did enjoy my time. I'm gonna give the game a solid 6.8 out of 10, and that's it.